In the past 60 days, I've approached literally thousands of people on the street. Complete strangers here in Malaysia, also in Indonesia, and I've learned a lot. I've learned quite a bit about myself. I've learned quite a bit about people. I've learned quite a bit about these two countries, and I'm here to share a little bit about the experience because I never anticipated doing these street interviews like this. You know, I'm an extreme introvert, a very introverted person, and so it's the last thing you would think of when, street interviews comes to mind. Approaching strangers on the street to do an interview. It's crazy. But I sort of fell into it. People like it, and I'm getting better at it, so I feel like it's something I should continue doing. The main thing I've learned about myself is that if I push past the discomfort, the initial discomfort, it's actually very rewarding. And the social interaction I'm getting on a daily basis now is something I've never had, something I haven't had in my life. And it brings some sort of happiness and removes some feelings of loneliness that I would otherwise have just doing videos every day by myself. That's huge. It taught me to push past a bit of discomfort, social discomfort, and you will be rewarded for it. It taught me that maybe I'm not as introverted as I thought. Even though my mind defaults to an introverted thought process and feeling comfortable on my own and not speaking to too many people on a regular basis, it doesn't mean that I don't thrive in that atmosphere too. Yeah, I think it's pushed me to be a little bit more social. People who do know me wouldn't always think that I'm introverted because I am very good in social situations. I used to go out all the time and I had quite a big circle of friends. And so, yeah, you wouldn't think it, but internally, that's just how my mind works. Yeah, it's been a very valuable experience. It's been cool. And so I'm very glad that I started to do these street interviews with strangers. It's interesting, and I'm excited to do it in more countries. I think it will open things even a little further for me, getting out of Kuala Lumpur. I've only really done them in Kuala Lumpur. I did some in Jakarta in Indonesia, and that's about it. That's it. I'm about to travel again, and so, yeah, I'm gonna do it in some other countries, and we're gonna see. We're gonna see how that works. I'm gonna switch up the topics, some more generalized topics, less Malaysia-focused content only. Because so far I've only done topics based around Malaysia, topics that are, around Malaysian culture, Malaysian people, foreigners in Malaysia. And so I want to broaden things a little bit. And so I hope people are gonna be open to a different style of topic, much more general things. Maybe I will ask strangers their biggest regret in life, something like that. That's a cool topic, and I think it will yield interesting answers, but it has nothing to do with Malaysia. So things like that, I'm curious to do and see how it goes. Otherwise, I'll talk about a few more things I've learned. First off, Malaysian people in general do not like to be interviewed. They do not like to be on camera. And it's a very apparent thing. It's something that comes up now every single day as I approach strangers, some Malaysians, some foreigners. Yeah, they aren't really interested. Even when subscribers come up to me, every day now, subscribers approach me and say they watch my videos. And more often than not, they're Malaysian. I'd say 9 times out of 10, it's a Malaysian person, but they still never want to do an interview. And I think when I interview foreigners, it's depending where they're from. I'd say especially from Western countries, they're 90%, at least 80% chance they actually say yes to an interview. Seemingly no matter what they're doing. I understand they're on vacation, they're on a holiday, and so it's different. It might be quite different if I tried to do that in America, somewhere like New York, where people are busy, people are living their lives. Similarly to Malaysians here, just living their lives. Maybe don't want to be bothered. What's up? Maybe they just don't want to be bothered, right? Maybe it's not indicative of Malaysian people as a whole. And it could be more the fact, like I said, that the foreigners are on holiday. So, need to keep that in mind. And yeah, Westerners in general are the most likely to accept, because I ask people from the Middle East, I ask people from Africa, everywhere. Africans are also quite receptive and usually quite willing to do an interview. Most people are, but I think Westerners are just the most likely. And that could be because I'm white. I don't really know. I think in general, people are more receptive to their own race, people from their nation, or, a lot of these are Europeans. So it's not like I'm European, but regardless, our skin color is the same. And so I think Malaysians approaching Malaysians would get a better response rate. If I was Malaysian and I was approaching other Malaysians for an interview, I think I'd have a lot more people saying yes. I have a friend here who does TikTok, and he does like stuff on the streets. And he's always approaching people, and we've been in the same area approaching people at the same time, and I see the response rate is quite strong. But he's also talking in Bahasa, so I think that's a big part of it. Maybe even if I spoke Malay, if I spoke Bahasa, maybe I would have a better response rate. Maybe they would feel more comfortable. But in my experience so far, Malaysians do not want to be interviewed. They do not want to be on camera saying anything. And keep in mind, this is even before they know the topic. So it's not like touchy, sensitive topics. It's me just approaching them saying, hey, do you speak English? That's my opener. Then, hey, I'm a YouTuber. I'm interviewing people out here. And typically it gets cut off before I even get to a topic, talking about what the topic is. They're just not interested. We'll see, maybe if I get outside of Kuala Lumpur. I've been around the whole country. I've been in most of the states at this point. I've not been to Johor Bahru yet. However, the Ministry of Tourism, they first want to send me to Johor Bahru. That's one of the first destinations they want to promote. They want to get more Singaporeans into the country. They want to boost the numbers, and I think attracting Singaporean tourists is a big factor for them, something they want. And Johor Bahru would be the best destination for that. Promote some hotels there, things like that. So I will visit Johor. I will do interviews there. And I'm really, really interested in doing interviews in Sabah or in Borneo in general. I did spend some time there, and Sabah is actually my favorite place in Malaysia at this point. Kota Kinabalu was my favorite place. I've been here. And so I'm really looking forward to getting back there after the monsoon season. Just waiting for that to be over. So for now, I've been spending a lot of time in KL. I've just been, living in KL actually. So I'm gonna do some traveling. I will likely come back to KL for a bit. Maybe I will visit some places to do other interviews like Malacca and Penang. I think would be good to interview tourists. Langkawi would be good to interview tourists. I really want to go to Perhentian Island once that's open again as well. So these are all on my list. But for now, I've only done it in Kuala Lumpur, and so that's mostly what I'm speaking about here. And so that could very much be the factor. It's a big city. I think interviewing Malaysians in smaller areas, smaller towns, I think they'd be more receptive, far more receptive and interested in general. People in the big city don't want to be bothered so much, And so, I think that's a big part of it. Something else I learned is that I wish that I would have started doing this years ago. I lived in New York City for 6 years. And I'm from Philadelphia, and I went to New York City. If I would have just been doing this then, I feel like it's just the perfect place for doing street interviews, getting a wide variety of different types of people, different perspectives, and just tons of foot traffic. It would have been the prime place. And so I'm kicking myself for not having thought of this earlier. However, better late than never. And so I think it really fills a market here. I don't think, there are people doing these street interviews in other countries. Takashi in Japan, he's doing it over in Tokyo. One of my inspirations for doing this channel, actually. I really liked his interviews. There's another guy, Chai Travels. He actually did some here. He travels around Southeast Asia. He does these interviews. I watched him since COVID times and got some inspiration from him for sure. But I didn't see anybody consistently doing it in Malaysia. Few people here and there did some interviews. There's a few channels doing some interviews, but they're not doing them that well, in my opinion. And so, I figured, okay, nobody's doing these well. I think that I think it plays to my strengths. I'm gonna go do this. And I'm glad that I did, but I wish I would have started back in New York. So hopefully I can visit New York again and I can make some of these street interviews in New York City. I think that would be really cool. For now, I'm gonna stick in Asia. And so my plan is, I'm going to do Bali, I'm going to do Thailand. I haven't done interviews in either of those places. I think Bali will be easy because there's tons of foreigners there. I think I can do some fun topics there because it's a mix of party people, mix of spiritual health folks, all different types of foreigners. And I think it will be quite interesting to, do some of these more generalized topics in Bali. But also, I'm even more interested in going to Japan. I've talked about it in a lot of my vlogs in the past, and it's just somewhere I've always wanted to go. It's somewhere I'm most interested in the world to visit at this point. And so, as soon as I find it financially feasible to go to Japan for maybe a 2-week trip, maybe less, but maybe 2 weeks, a month would be cool, I'm gonna go. And I will make a few vlogs there, and I will also do street interviews. And I'm gonna put them all on this channel. I mentioned in one of my last vlogs, like I'm gonna make a few different channels, but due to overwhelming response of people telling me that just put it on one channel, we wanna see it, we wanna see all the content on one channel, I'm just gonna put it all on here, whatever. If I find it becomes a problem, I'll make new channels, but for now, you will see content from every country here. Predominantly Malaysia, sure, but so I have some trips in the works, but Japan is in the future, South Korea is in the future, China as well. China is not going to be good for interviews. Other than foreigners, I could interview foreigners anywhere. Another thing I've learned is that people are much more receptive to speaking in person to a stranger in a calm area, in an area where people are walking slow, the pace is slow, things aren't too crazy. That's why you see me here a lot in KLCC Park. It's because people come here to hang out. People are not here very busy. And I find it's one of the best places to approach people on the street. Same with Merdeka Square. I think it's like one of the best places. People are just hanging out. And so to me, these are the best spots. I don't know, do you guys want to see more locations? Does it bother you if I'm rinsing and repeating in the same areas? Or do you think it just matters more about the topic and the people's responses? Because to me, I don't think it matters that much, but if you guys really want to see new locations, and I'm talking about within Kuala Lumpur while I am in the city, do you find it important that I will visit more spots and do the interviews in different locations? Because if so, I will make that a priority, and I will find more areas to interview people. It is limited with interviewing foreigners and interviewing tourists, limited to certain areas where they are actually at, Like I could go to Batu Caves area, interview tourists going there. I could go to some other tourist destinations, I'd say. Maybe I can go to like the botanical gardens and do some interviews there. It's not that busy, but on the weekends, stuff like this, but I want to know, let me know in the comments, do you think, is it important for you, or are you getting tired of seeing the same locations? Bukit Bintang, KLCC, and Merdeka Square, because these are my go-to spots for now. And as long as you guys don't mind, I think the interviews are going well, and it's quite easy to approach people. Except Bukit Bintang, it's not. But it makes for an interesting interview at times because it's a lively area. The atmosphere is very lively. And so, I think it's interesting. As much as I hate actually hanging around there and doing the interviews, sometimes I just suck it up and I go do the interviews there. But let me know what you guys want to see more of. What kind of topics are you interested in as well? I will repeat the videos that do really well. So you see the Getting the Foreigners First Impressions video, 300-something thousand views. So I will do round 2, round 3, round 4 of a series like that. Do foreigners experience racism in Malaysia? It's another video, 200-something thousand views. So I know people like that topic, and I will do round 2, round 3. I think making those a series is good. And then for the other videos, try to change the topic. So let me know in the comments, what topics would you want to see? Try to get creative. Just think of stuff that you are interested of hearing people talk about. But I do have a lot prepared as well for the next few weeks traveling around. So I'm excited about that. Another huge thing I've learned is that if I don't tell people to be honest in the interview, they are very likely to simply sugarcoat everything and only talk about the positives. And so I've now learned that I need to, either before the interview or during the interview, I need to say, be honest, or give me your honest opinion. I want you to be completely honest. If I say that, I get a completely different type of response every time, because then they feel comfortable to talk about the good and the bad. If I don't say that, 99% of the time, they will only say good things, or they will kind of stutter and they will feel a bit anxious, and you can tell that they're holding back. And so, yeah, it's such a crazy thing that, yeah, people just feel like maybe I should only say the good stuff, especially for YouTube. Maybe I should only say good things, but that's not what I want. For one, the videos perform better if people are honest, if people give both sides of it, the positive, the negative, the video performs better. You know, it sparks some engagement in the comments, and it's just more interesting. You know, if every single person is just saying the food is good, the people are good, this is good, and that's the whole response, I mean, it's gonna get dull pretty fast. So hearing all the opinions, very important. And yeah, I know I need to preface the conversation to people. Be honest. That is the key phrase. And as we see now, the rain is starting a little bit. See everybody starting to go into the mall. You will see very quickly people getting up from their seats, heading inside. I'm gonna duke it out. Let's see how bad this rain gets, because right now it's just sprinkling down a little bit. Not bad. But you see people get up real quick. People do not want to get caught in the rain. Yeah, one of my last days here in KL for a little bit, just like I said, doing a little bit of traveling. Haven't gotten out of the city in a while. If you've noticed, I've just been pumping out these videos. I've not moved, not traveled. I've been staying in the same condo. Yeah, I've just been in Ampang. Actually living a very comfortable life here. Been very comfortable recently, and I've not wanted to travel. Now I'm ready. Now it's like, it feels like, okay, now I need to get out. I need to travel a little bit. And I would be very happy just going to Sabah or Perhentian Island, but it's not an option right now. It's just, it's not open. It's the monsoon season. Like, I could go to Sabah, but I'm just not gonna do it. I even put out a community poll, and I think 60-something% of people said, like, wait till the monsoon season is over. You know, I don't wanna get there, stay for a week or more, and I can't get out and make videos. You know, or I can't get out and go to an island. I can't go to Mount Kinabalu. So, yeah, I'm gonna save it. I thought about going to Langkawi. I had just one trip there, and it was a rather poor experience. Stayed in Chinang Beach, you know, it's a very touristic area. And I think I need to see that island properly. I need to explore the island more. I need to go there, get a motorbike, and really explore the whole island on the bike, instead of just staying in one little area. It was just not the best. And I think from what I've been talking to people, the island has a lot more to offer than what I've seen and from my experience. So yeah, I would like to revisit Langkawi, do some interviews, see some different areas. And I also want to go back to Penang. It's been quite a while. I've been there maybe 5 times, and I always enjoy it. You know, go for a couple days. It's quite nice. The rain, okay, it is picking up a little bit. I shouldn't stay too far away from the mall in that case. So another reason it's nice to be over here, to film in KLCC Park. One, they got the water fountains right over there. They have toilets inside the mall, and they have the mall in case it starts to rain. So it's like I'm covered on all fronts. And there's a train that goes directly to my house in Ampang. It's convenient. It's convenient and it's comfortable to do interviews here. This place has become like my home inside my home, KLCC Park. It's yeah, it's my stomping grounds here. I like it, folks. I like it. It's bittersweet to leave Malaysia, even just for a few weeks. You know, it's like it feels good to travel somewhere, but I know I'm going to miss it quite quickly. And trust me, mark my words, whenever I'm flying back, I'm going to feel so happy to be coming back here. I really will. But for now, time to travel, time to go enjoy myself a little bit. maybe work a little bit less. I've been working aggressively, and it's paid off. You know, I picked up 4 sponsors at this point. So I'm good on sponsorships at the moment. You will see those in the future videos. A good way to support me, if you do, you know, I'm only going to be taking sponsorships of brands, companies, products that I believe in, that I feel comfortable promoting to my audience. So if you see something that looks interesting, you know, the sponsorship typically comes with some kind of deal where I can give 50% off to my audience, or you get freebies for using, you know, a couple free months for using my promo. Use it, you know, it supports me. It will make the sponsors want to continue working with me, and you get to use a product or service that is good, something interesting. So yeah, that's going to change everything for me, because like I mentioned before, my YouTube income from actual YouTube itself, it's not that high, and it will never get too crazy. The real money comes with the sponsorships, and so yeah, I feel very grateful to have attracted interest from sponsors. I feel grateful that you guys are watching, liking, subscribing, commenting. It means the world to me. It's changing my life as we speak. Things are getting better, you know, things are getting sustainable for me, and I think it's just up from here. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed already, you probably are if you're watching this video, but press the subscribe button, you know, a lot more coming soon. I will see you guys in the next one.